Okay. The question is, till now, what we have done, we have used some command line programming, and maybe you are using ideally, or maybe you are using PyCharm or a Jupyter notebook or any other environment. But the fact is, we have not stored the output. Okay. So when we are writing 1 plus 2, so it is giving the output as 3, but as soon as you are closing that browser, so the result is gone. You are not saving the output anymore, right? So now the question is how we can save that output for future use, because most of the time in bioinformatics analysis or any other programming, so you will use some file as a data, right? Suppose you are using some Excel data, or you are using some text file, sequence file. So those will be stored in some file, right? And you know how to download the data from Uniport KB. It is a bioinformatics job I am telling now. Hopefully all of you know that. You need to go to the NCBI site, Uniport KB site, and then you type whatever you want. Suppose you are searching for insulin, and then you type the um, file format, that is the canonical FASTA format, you know that. Now you can download and save that file in your computer. You can do that. If you open that file, so let me just take that file first. Suppose I already I already download that file, insulin. Okay. So if I open this, you can see that this kind of FASTA format file, it is known to you. I think so, isn't it? You have seen this kind of file earlier.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now the question is how you can analyze such files using some Python code, and then the result you can save to another file. So that is the thing known as file handling. Okay. So it is as well as reading from some file, and as well as writing the output to another file. So reading and writing, just like that, when you are going to open a book or something, some book you are reading, so what you will do, you will take a book and you will open the page, and then you will study this book, and again you will close the book. So these are the simple process how to read a book: open, read, and close. Or when you are writing, when you are trying to write something in a notebook, so what you will do, you will take a notebook, you open that notebook, write something on it, and close it, right? So that is a simple step. So just like that, here also we are going to use file handling in Python program, and the same syntax is followed as open a file, read or write that file, and close the file. So these are the very basic simple steps. Okay. So how to operate the files in a program. All right. Now what is file? File is a named location on disk to store related information. Now I have already shown the example of some insulin sequence which was taken from Unicode KB, that is a protein sequence. Now that is stored in my computer. Already I have downloaded and I have stored that information. It is used to permanently store data in a non-volatile memory. That means in hard disk, I have already stored. It is now in my desktop, as you have seen that I uploaded that file in Jupyter Notebook from my desktop. Okay. So it is already there in my hard disk. Why I am using hard disk? Because the RAM is another kind of memory, that is random access memory, which is volatile in nature, and which will erase all the data as soon as I will turn off my computer. Okay, so I need to save that data for future use in my hard disk. Now we will see how to open a file or read a file or write a file or close the file. So what are the syntax we will see. So there are functions, inbuilt functions like open, write, and read. So very easy. This is quite natural language, just like natural language. We are instructing the computer open this, so we will use open. Write this, so it will write something. Read this, it will read something. Isn't it easy? Okay, so these are all built-in Python functions and don't require module to import. That means just like when we are using math module, you can remember that we have used pi operation, pi uh, to know the value of pi, we imported first the math module and then we use math.py. So we don't need such kind of module to open this file or write or reading file. Now, there are majorly two types of files you may have to interact with while programming. One is the text file, which is some code, some character coding are there, S2 or Unicode, UTF-8. So these are the file format. You don't need to go to details of this thing, but there are certain format of text file, and each line ends with a new line. So whenever you are creating some file, that means by default there will be a new line character that is known as end of line. So we'll see when we'll write some code or we'll run some code on Python file handling. So then we'll focus on the use of this kind of new line. Okay. And another one is uh, CSV file. That means the Excel kind of file. So text file and uh, CSV file. So we'll see how to work with this both of this type of file. Now next is this is a very basic syntax that if we write f equals open within parentheses within quote some file name. So this is a file name test.txt. There is a file name. Suppose we are trying to read or open. Now this function return, this open function returns a file object, and that is known as file handle. It is used to read or modify the file in later cases. So once we are writing this, now you think like that, all the test.txt, whatever materials are there inside the file, those are coming to this file handler. Okay, so that is the if this variable is now is treated as a file handle. Okay, and in the next line you are going to use that file handle, not the file name. Okay, so that is the first thing to be remember. We are using some file handle in this way, so which is also known as file pointer. So so all of this content of the given file are now assigned to this file handle. So that is the first thing. Now suppose if you are running from a different directory, if your program is in another directory and your file is in another directory, obviously then you need to give the full file path. Okay, suppose in the next example it is given that one file which is under this directory, C directory, and under that Python 33, that is another directory, and there you will find this text file. So if you want to open that readme.txt, which is actually present in this directory, so you need to include the full path of that file, and then you can open the file. Okay. Okay. And next thing is, you need to specify the mode of the file handling. That means whether you want to open this, or whether you want to whether you open it to read the file, or you are trying to open a file to write something on it. So that you should mention when you are opening the file. So by default, if you use this command, open and file name only, so by default it will open in read mode. Okay. And you can add some specific parameter like R also. So that is used for R, read, and W for write, and append for A for append. Now how to use that thing? So there are many other operations written. I am not going to the details of this thing. So only I am looking into first R, W, and A mode. So these three mode will focus first. Now one by one. So I think this much is clear what I am trying to tell you, that what is file and what is the objective of a file, how we can use the file.
And what is mode? The function of mode.
No, mode means what? See, uh, suppose you want to read some file. Okay, suppose abc.txt file is there and you want to read what are the content inside that file. So you must instruct the code, because the code is actually doing nothing. Whatever you are writing, it is performing that task only, nothing more, nothing less. So you have instructed this file abc.txt to open. Now how it will know that whether that will be used for writing something or only the content you are trying to read, that you should specify, and that is the mode, in which mode you are trying to open that file. So by default, if you write this, it will open for reading purpose, and if you can add R after comma, so that also specify that you are trying to open the file in read mode. And if you are trying to write something in this file, so you need to write W. Okay, so that it will understand that, okay, so that means abc.txt, in that file I am going to write something. So those are the mode.
Okay, okay.
Okay, now suppose I am any other questions? Okay, now let us see what will happen if I am writing this syntax, open abc.txt. Now run. Now it is showing that file not found. Obviously, I have not created any file and I am trying to open it to read. How the program will know that we are trying to read this abc.txt file? So that's why it is saying that no such file or directory in abc.txt name. Okay, and if you check, if you go back to this directory, because I am running this code from this directory, right? So here no file name is given as abc.txt. So that's why it is showing one error, right? No such file. Now suppose I am again trying to open another file. Open file 4.txt. Now let's see what is happening. Now I am not getting any error. So that means that file is already existing in that directory, right? If you go back and if you check that file 4.txt is there, if you click on, that is a blank file. All right, am I clear? This is a blank file. That means that file is existing, but you are not getting any sort of command or any sort of output here where you are running the code. Okay, you are not getting anything here because you have not printed something on the fly. That means where you are running the code in that cell, you are not getting any output because you are not trying to print the content of that file here. You have just opened it. So that's why there is no line written as output in here in this browser or in this cell. Okay. Now, how you will know that whether it is okay or not? So then you can use one simple logic that you are writing the same syntax file. So a for a file pointer or anything, any variable name you can use for file handler. That is not an issue. Now, if you are trying to open that same file and then you are checking if file pointer is there, so print file is opened successfully. Okay, so you can write this, and then if you run, then only you will find that it is printing that file is opened successfully. Because if you are using only this syntax, so you are not getting any output, anything on the running browser. Okay, because it is there, no problem with that file. And if you use this, so then you will see that yes, it is opened successfully. Just you are using another print statement, nothing else. Okay, I think this is clear how to open a file, and that file should be there where you are running your code. If it is not there, you will get
স্যার ইফ
error.
দিয়ে ব্যাপারটা কেন দেখাচ্ছে এই যে ফাইল ইজ ওপেন সাকসেসফুলি এই যে এইখানটা?
So I have just explained that if you are only using this syntax s equal to open file.txt, and I'm running this again, I'm running this. So what is the output here? Can you see anything? Can you see any change?
নো নো নো
No. So how do you know that this file is opened or whether this file is existing or not?
ইয়েস
That's why you are checking that and you are printing the statement. If it is there, so then it will open this then it will print this statement on. That's all. Okay. You don't
ওকে
need to print this statement if you are sanguine or if you are sure, very sure that that file is there and it is open. So that is just a checking. That's nothing else. Okay. Now next is close. So often in my childhood, when I open a book, I forgot to close that book. That may happen. But now in your case, when you are writing some code, you should close the file, whatever file you opened earlier. Otherwise, in many cases, you will get some error. There will be some problem with running the code. Sometimes you will find that okay, you forgot to close, forget to close the file, but it is running. Yes, sometimes for basic purpose, uh, you will see that there is no problem with that if you are forgetting to close that file. But in latter case, you will find that you are getting some error in your code. So better practice is from the very beginning, you should use this command after opening a file, do some operation on that file, and next step is you need to close that file. So the syntax is dot close. Very easy. File handle name dot close. Okay, and that file will be closed. No, if you are writing something here, so it will not be accounted for that file what you open earlier. Okay, so that is the close method. So we have seen how to open a file and how to close a file. Next is, sometimes in some book or some program you will find that this kind of file handling are also using another way that started with this syntax. Now there are certain advantages of using this with syntax. So we are doing the same job, but the fact is, if you are using this method to open a file, so then you need to follow the indentation. Okay, just like any loop, for loop or while loop, you should maintain the indentation. Here also you need to maintain the indentation. That is the major thing. Say for example, with open file.txt in our read mode as a. So this is the file handle. So when you are using with, so then you need to use as the file handle. After the colon, you are reading something. You are reading that file handle. So read will see that what is the function of this read function. So you are reading that content and that is stored in this variable content, and then you are printing that. So that is one way to do the same thing, open a file. Okay, and obviously you need to close that file similarly. Next is okay, so not exactly, I forgot to mention that if you are writing with this method, so then you need not to close it exclusively, because that is under the loop, right? That is under the loop, under the same block. So you need to do manually close the file again. Okay. So that is one advantage. Then we're coming to next, that is writing something on the file. Okay. Now in earlier example, that is here, file 4.txt, that was a empty file, right? Okay, so I am deleting that file now. I'm just going back and I'm deleting this file. Oh, all right. Okay, it is already in use. Okay, then okay. Hmm. So as I was running that code, it was inhibiting me to delete that file. Okay, now I have successfully deleted that file 4.txt. You can see that that file is not in the directory. Now if I am writing that open this file with write mode, okay, after comma I have written w, and that is just checking that this file is exist or created now. So w can create the file also, and if some file is there, so it will overwrite that thing. Okay, so that is the function of w. Now I am trying to open a file named file 4.txt, and I am trying to write this line inside the file. So how we can write that? So we are using the file pointer, so that is file handle dot write. So we are instructing that now you take the pen and you write this thing on the file. So the file handle is like a pen. Now file handle will go and it will write or it will print this statement on that file 4.txt. And as soon as the file pointer will be reached at the end, then it will go to the next line and it will close the file handle. Okay, now I'll run this. Let's check what will happen. Okay, now you can see that file exists or created now. This message is coming and some junk value is there. So it is coming from other end. So don't need to concentrate with that line number or this number actually. So that is coming with that creating, you are creating something in a directory, and that's why some value is coming. So here you go back to the directory and you can see that file 4 is there. It is created right now. You can see that file 4 seconds ago. So right now it is created, and if you click on this, you will see that 2 lines are also written on that file. Okay, are you getting the point? What the write mode is doing here? It is creating the file 4 as well as it is writing something. Okay, now you have already used this thing and you are okay. I got it. Sorry. So now you want to add this line, not this line. Actually, you are trying to print all this line in this file 4.txt. So if you run this again by changing this file handler write command, so what it will do, if you go back and if you check the file again, file 4.txt, so now you can see that it is written at the end. Okay, I got it. Okay, so as the file was already there, so so it is just printed this statement, all the line there, no problem with that. Is it okay? Any doubt regarding the file open, close and write? Anyone? I think this is very easy, just like we are instructing ourselves that read a book or write a copy. So just like that, the program is doing that. Okay. Now next thing is we can read the lines from this text or text file. So for that we need to use one function, that is read function. We will see the detail of the read function soon, but you can see that if I am running this now, so you can see the output. Okay, we are printing the line here in this cell, and you can see the lines which are written in the file, those are also printed here. So we are printing the line manually, and that's why we are observing the output here. That's all. We can do the same thing with using with function. So we run this, we are getting the same output, no problem with that. Now another options were there, that is append mode. One is read mode, another is write mode. Now we will check what is append mode. Okay, so check carefully. Now we are using E, not W or not R. Okay, you can see that after comma I have written E, and we are writing in the next line f dot write or file pointer dot write to backslash n. Then Python has an easy syntax and user friendly interaction. If we run this first and then check the out. So what is the difference? Can you tell me? Anyone? Can anyone tell me what is the difference between these two, the earlier thing and now?
Syntax, sir.
Sorry.
Syntax, Python has syntax.
Yeah, syntax is
Sir, this is sir. Actually, this is a programming interface. So this is a .py interface, and the next one is a .txt interface. So you can't code there, but you just write like a notepad.
no. I'm not saying that. I'm saying that. Okay, so let me run this again. Just check carefully. First, I am writing these two lines, okay, in the file as file4.txt. Now I am checking that these two lines are written. All right, no problem. By using this command, W mode, write mode, we have written these two lines. Is there any problem? I think you got that. Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now we are trying to write something, one more extra line, that is Python has an easy syntax and this. So this will be appended. Append means that it will be added at the end of that file, not erasing the previous one. Okay. Now check carefully when I am running this syntax after running the previous command. So what it will do? So it is run. And now we are going back to the file, and you can see that the previous two lines are written here. Now it is, if you refresh this browser, so you can see that this file has been updated by this line. So this line is appended with that existing file. Okay. So many times you can use this append. Suppose you want to append another line. So you run it again. If you run it again, what will happen? You check, another line is appended. It is not erasing the previous line. Okay. Sometimes you want to compare some result and you don't erase the previous result. So you can use append. So the previous result will be stored on the same file and the new result will be printed one by one. Is it okay? Is it okay? Any doubt with append? This is another mode. Just like read, write, this is another mode, append mode. Okay, so there is another format, that is another not format, another function which is very much useful in case of reading some line in a file. Okay, so that is read, and another one is read line. So we'll see these things in next class, how to create a file, new file with X mode. So that is another mode, how we can create a new file. Then we can rename the file, we can remove the file, we can create the directory, we can know where from we are running this code. Okay, so there are multiple things we can do, but do not try to delete something, otherwise we'll get some problem in future. So I will not run this uh, this remove directory, because if you are trying to remove directory in some way, some major folder is removed, so you will be in trouble. So I will not show you this right now, but we can use the CSV file also, that means the Excel file. So not only the text file, we often need to use the CSV file also, and we will see how to do that in the next class. All right. So there are multiple examples also given. Okay, so today I'll stop here. If you have any questions, you can ask me right now. If you don't have any query, so can I stop here? Okay, bye now. Tomorrow we'll meet again.